crypto bros in Europe and crypto gals in Europe just got a huge win. Crypto is mainstream, and in Europe, I feel like they are leading the way in tokenized assets with regulation and everything that has to do with crypto. So just in, Robinhood goes all out in Europe for cryptocurrency. They just announced some of the biggest news that you will hear of the year, and we're gonna break that all down. Before we begin, check out this clip.
To get early exposure to private companies like SpaceX and OpenAI, which are now worth billions of dollars.
That would be exciting to do, wouldn't it? But why talk about doing it later when we can do it right now? You may have been wondering what this awesome briefcase that I walked in with was for. Well, I'm holding in my hands right now the keys to the first ever stock tokens for OpenAI. And not just OpenAI, but also SpaceX. SpaceX is in here too. If you download the Robinhood EU app, which we gave you ample warning to do, you're about to figure out why we gave you that warning. I'd like to transfer these tokens to you and give you exposure to two of the most valuable private companies in the world right now.
All right, you just heard it. That is the CEO and founder of Robinhood, and he breaks it all down. He talks about the access that users will be able to get for tokenized assets. And let's dive in deep. The $125 trillion equity market is coming on chain. And we mean on chain, not on hyphen chain, just on chain. OpenAI and SpaceX private stocks to be traded on chain via Robinhood. We saw a similar announcement earlier with Solana, Bybit, and Kraken, but Robinhood obviously is taking the lead and they're doing it in real time. And then this user says, if an ounce of that is institutionalized capital strays, alts will pump. So we're all hoping that some of that money flows into the coin that we're holding for our back and go up. But either way, imagine investing in OpenAI or SpaceX via the blockchain in the Robinhood app. And we know SpaceX is getting it in with NASA. We know OpenAI is ChatGPT. We all typing it up. We all using Sora. This thing is huge. And some more details about this is that Robinhood is using Arbitrum. So the other day when this announcement came out, Arbitrum price went down. Robinhood stock soared to new all-time highs. We want to see some of that money flow back in to the assets we own. So Arbitrum, Ethereum, and the rest of those want to get the benefit. We all want to get the benefit. However, it's good to see it happening. And then Robinhood also is talking about eventually launching their own layer 2. So on another video, we're going to dive in deep into Ethereum and how they're benefiting from all of this that is happening. So big news there for Robinhood. The European users is going up. Now, the next one will benefit the US in, I think, a dramatic way. So here's the post from CoinDesk. Just in, US Director of Federal Housing Bill, Pote, has ordered Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to, quote, count cryptocurrency as an asset for a mortgage. Pote has stated this decision was inspired by the president's vision to make the United States the crypto capital of the world. So having your Bitcoin be a part of your mortgage approval and stuff like that, that's crazy. I wouldn't have thought of that one. A lot of people could benefit from that. So we're talking about you can borrow against your Bitcoin. JP Morgan is doing that with ETFs. That's what they're leading towards. You can use platforms that are DeFi based that let you borrow and lend. Coinbase is letting you borrow against your Bitcoin. And now imagine Bitcoin being able to be used for a mortgage. So the US is moving in the right direction. Adding Bitcoin to the balance sheet for every family is a must. Now, Bitcoin Magazine made this post here. This is about Bitcoin adoption. National Bank of Kazakhstan governor says they are working to establish a Bitcoin and crypto reserve. We got Texas. We got multiple states in the United States. We got governments, countries, and corporations. Kazakhstan is next up. Now, this one I thought was very, very interesting coming from Coin Bureau. This is a guy that I have seen talking about crypto and stock investments and whatnot a lot recently. So, just in, Tom Lee wants to build Ethereum's MicroStrategy. Wall Street strategist Lee is now chairman of Bitmine. Bitmine popped 400% the other day because of this announcement. He says Bitmine, a tiny BTC miner aiming to become the largest public ETH holder. A $250 million raise will fund its Ether first treasury, echoing Saylor's BTC strategy. To me, it makes sense. If stablecoins in the US are going to be used for payments, collateral, for transfers, for everything, most of those USDCs, USDTs will be running on some type of Ethereum platform, whether that is Ethereum, the main chain, mainnet, whether that is Base, Arbitrum, Optimism, Polygon, or any other layer 2 that is going to spring up, like Robinhood is talking about making basically an L3, right? Off of Arbitrum. All of that value essentially will be going through Ethereum at the end of the day. Ethereum is also the king of the NFTs. So far, it looks like tokenization for whatever that reason. The on-chain economy that they're building on Base is booming. The number one layer 2 is Base, backed by Coinbase. So that puts Ethereum in a position. This company here, Bitmine, is like, we mine BTC, so they're getting their Bitcoins. Let's make a power move and stack up Ethereum, which is the number 2 in the OG smart contract platform. And then if they're doing Michael Saylor's strategy, they're going to raise money, buy Ethereum. Eventually, Ethereum should take off. That's a power move. I'm definitely going to be following that one closely. Now, let's get to some altcoin news. This one is about Algorand Foundation and what's going on in the ecosystem. Algorand Foundation announces launch of Wormhole native token transfers, enabling multi-chain interoperability for Algorand. And then the headline there was integration of Wormhole's NTT standard led by Folks Finance unlocks seamless cross-chain token transfers and sets the stage for Algorand's next phase of multi-chain growth. And then some of the benefits right here. Key benefits of the NTT integration. Algorand developers can mint NTT-based tokens using existing standards and tools, opening new pathways for multi-chain liquidity and cross-chain ecosystem user flows. Retail users will be able to move assets directly between Algorand and other NTT-enabled cross-chains familiar interfaces, simplifying access to liquidity and expanding use cases for Algorand-based applications. Token issuers from other ecosystems can now deploy their assets natively on Algorand, unlocking new users, liquidity pools, and DeFi protocols without needing to wrap or mirror their tokens. So essentially, the Avalanches, the Bases, the Arbitrums, those type of platforms can now work a lot easier with Algorand, which Algorand's an AVM and not an EVM. So they don't use the Ethereum virtual machine, which makes everything happen. They use the Algorand virtual machine. Step closer to making everything seamless. So if you're building an app, it doesn't matter what's going on in the back end. You can get your Algo assets, you can get your Ethereum assets, your USDCs anywhere and everywhere. And then a quote from Stacy Warden of the Algorand Foundation. She says, interoperability is key to Algorand's long-term growth. We're happy to support this launch alongside Folks Finance and Wormhole to see if Algorand become a core player in the open connected blockchain ecosystems. Very power move right there. Now, more Wormhole news. Wormhole is announcing a partnership with Ripple to bring multi-chain interoperability to the XRP ledger in the upcoming XRPL EVM sidechain. So 2 things there. XRP is making the EVM sidechain. Ripple's working with Wormhole to be more interoperable. I just said Algorand is doing that as well. So Algorand and Ripple could actually be interoperable with the other Ethereum chains. Wormhole will be the core interoperability solution for the XRPL ecosystem. This integration will bring institutional grade interoperability to the 6 million plus users of the XRPL ecosystem, bringing new connectivity for developers and institutions looking to build multi-chain apps for payments, DeFi, and RWA use cases. A lot of big stuff happening this week. And this one I thought was interesting as we close out. Stellar at the ECC Canes. Girls gone stable, boys gone stable, world gone stable. Check this out. I'll start that over for y'all. They saying everybody going stable, and we know that stable means stable coins. And they say, hey, we're gonna make this promo a little more hot, a little bit more spicy. I know that event was popping out there for ECC. Again, y'all, a lot of big stuff happening in the crypto space this week. Make sure y'all let me know y'all thoughts about what we talked about here today, what you're thinking, what's coming next, how it will affect your bags. Hit me in those DMs, hit me in those comments. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Until the next time, y'all. Peace.
Passive income. Gold in my dental. Thank God for my mental. Investor fundamentals. Told my girl it was simple.